go, here we go. Haha. Yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, you best believe it. On screen, we here to talk about the Mandalorian. Yeah, Mandalorian. Whoo, Mandalorian got some problems. So, big shout out to everybody who's watching the show right now on the live, anyone who jumps in the chat, and everybody on the replay. Big shout out to y'all as well. Before we get started, I want to thank this show in general. We have our ups and downs with this show, but this show comes with it. More often than not, this show comes with it. And since this show has come with it, there's a couple. I gotta tap their hand a little bit on this episode too, but this show is entertaining and gotta give it to them. Much love to them. I'm glad to see people out there shining. So, who's shining? You know what I'm saying? Who's shining up in them streets? Boba Fett shining. We got Finnick shining. We got your boy the Mandalorian shining. We even see the little man Grogu himself shining. So I'm not mad. There's a couple things where I'm like, but we gonna get to those. Big shout out to Cassandra Sellers. I think I'm doing you right. It's Cassandra, right? Not Cassandra, Cassandra. I think it's Cassandra. So anyway, everybody seemed to be shining, right? One thing I want to give a plus to this episode on, we didn't have to spend another episode or two trying to get to the Jedi Mountain. We opened up like, we get into the Jedi Mountain. Because one thing that worried me is that we were going to have a situation where we would have to spend another episode or two to get to the Jedi Mountain. You know what I'm saying? To get to the sitting stone or whatever, where you sit and the energies, allow you to meditate and, get mystical and stuff. We didn't have to do that. We open up, boom, we go into Typhon right now. It's right here. So I'm like, yes, thank you. Cool. Cassandra, you know what I'm saying? We here. So I'm glad that we didn't have to wait, because some shows, unfortunately, would have made you wait to get to that temple. And I'm glad we didn't have to wait to get to that temple. Can I help you?
I'm doing the show.
You doing the show?
I'm going live.
You didn't even watch the show.
I'm going live.
Yeah, I am going live. Did you watch Mandalorian?
Yes, I'm going.
You did not watch the Mandalorian. You gonna tell these people that?
I said I'm doing the podcast.
All right, so anyway, for the people in the room that saw it, no, we're gonna stay on solid ground today. So thank you, Captain. Captain, we're gonna talk about that. All right, Captain, we're gonna talk about that. So we get to Typhon. I'm cool. I like the fact that we have another planet that looks like a regular planet, not like a planet that's all ice or all desert or all city or all. It looks like a planet that has, got some mountains here, a little like forest area over there. It looks like a regular kind of planet, you know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, it's cool for Star Wars in general, but it's tough for me to envision that every single planet in this galaxy is going to be nothing but straight up one climate. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to grasp that for me. I'm sorry. It's tough for me. So it's good to see a planet that looks like it has a regular terrain of some sort. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. I like the surrounding, and I like the way they designed the little like sitting stone area. It looked really cool. I like the small little etchings on it. And when Grogu started to like meditate and you saw the power rising and like the butterflies coming around him, I really loved that as well. Like I really enjoyed those moments of seeing a new setting and then seeing Grogu kind of being, I guess you could say sort of, out of place for a moment, but then getting completely into the whole idea of how should you say, just like being in touch with the Force or contacting the Force or being one with it. It seemed like for a moment he was a little uneasy, but then he easily got into the mode of like meditation and connection to the Force and all of that good stuff. So I really enjoyed that. No, we staying down. So that's one thing that I enjoyed, is that we were able to easily get to that, and without a lot of poking and prodding. You know what I'm saying? And even the father and son moments that we see go forward, from that. Before that, the father and son moment with the ball again, him saying like, yo, you can have it, and having him grab it from him again, trying to like at least help a little bit with his training, having him be comfortable with his ability, around him. I thought that was cute. I really love the father and stuff son that we've seen from last episode in this episode. I dig that a lot. So that's something that I really thought connected with me on this episode in a good way, because they're probably going to be together for a while, but we did see this kind of distancing because Mandalorian got some feelings about the kid. He was like, when you meet your Jedi, I'm gonna have to let you go. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go on your own. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to leave, and you gotta leave with them. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay with me, kind of thing. And it's like, are you trying to prepare Grogu or are you trying to prepare yourself? So father-son moments in this episode I thought were cool, enjoyed them a lot. But we quickly get into a small skirmish, if you will, with Fennec, Boba Fett, Mandalorian. Boba Fett, like, you got my armor, B. Where my armor at? You're like, ho, are you a Mandalorian? Because I ain't just giving this stuff to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got to go by the code. And them kind of going back and forth, and Boba Fett being in a position to sort of prove himself, sort of, was interesting because they're both, as we find out later, are foundlings. And both of them having a different sort of, Django was a foundling. So both of them being, sort of from the same culture and just kind of vibing with one another, I thought was cool. And then also seeing how he was like, look, all I want is the armor. We ain't gonna mess with your kid. I don't get down like that. You give me the armor, dude, I'm out. I promise you. I'll bounce and I'll be out. Now, I do have a question though. Boba Fett, as we see, and we'll talk about later in this review, Boba Fett got skills. Boba Fett's got skills enough to have taken down the Marshal on Tatooine. So why Boba Fett ain't got his armor back? Stop playing ping pong with people's skills and abilities to make your story happen. Because as we see in this episode, Boba Fett should have easily been able to take the armor from the Marshal. So I'm like, why he ain't already got his armor? So we can make this episode happen? But anyway, slide that to the side. I like seeing how Fennec comes down and, even through their interactions this episode, you find like, yo, I didn't know you were dead. I thought you were dead. I wouldn't, I didn't know you were alive. I wouldn't have left you like that. You know what I'm saying? And we have this mutual respect between all three of them. It's not the strongest respect, but it is there. And I like that because there is this code that they're all kind of bound by of, even though you live by the sword, die by the sword, they all have a certain level of respect. Like, yo, you good, I'm good, you good, blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was dope. And shouts out to Agent Melinda May in the spot. Because Agent Melinda May, as we know, as we see, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she was dope. In this, she's dope. Because, of course, they're talking back and forth. Homie was like, take off your jetpack. Here's where it gets dumb. Once again, stop making your characters dumb so you can have the story. But anyway, so takes off his jetpack. Cool. We negotiating, right? Once we see the Imperial Guard land, why did you not immediately put your jetpack back on? Come on, bruh. As much as you work to get that jetpack, as much as we see you not part with that jetpack, my dude, you know good and well, this was, stop making your character dumb, AKA forgetful, or, otherwise, aloof, so your story can happen. I don't see any, besides the writers want it to happen, to make, of course, to make Boba Fett the star of this episode. I don't see any reason for those Imperial soldiers to land and Mandalorian not go grab that jetpack. Come on, bruh. Or is it that having the Mandalorian and Boba Fett flying around at the same time is a little too much effects, a little too much money? I know we got more money this season, but we might not have that much more money. You know what I'm saying? If we already did 2 people flying in episode 1, we can't be having people flying all over the place. Plus, you kind of nerfed your boy Mandalorian so Boba Fett could shine. I'll get to that later. But back to Melinda May, aka Finnick. Yo, bruh. Homegirl with the rifle, even people that was close to her, I ain't going front. People that close to her, I thought she was gonna pull out like a handgun, like a sidearm or something. She was like, boop, 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 boop. Yo, first, bottom line, stormtroopers need help. All right, stormtroopers need like another 2 years of training or something. Cause homie was just like, go up the mountain. They're like, dude, we're covered from above. They've got the higher ground. And he was just go up the mountain. So anyway, picking them off. Then even when she loses her place and they got the little Gatling gun, homegirl's still like, let me kick this big boulder at you. Paka, paka, paka. Yo, those 3 together was sweet. The only thing is, for those 2 to be sweet, what up, Jamal Lee? Nice to see you in the spot. What up, Nohoon 100? It's nice to see them shine, but to let them shine, what we get is Mandalorian in another mode, which is a very protective mode. He goes back. He's like, yo, kid, we got to get out of here. Grogu, we got to bounce. So he's trying to get inside the power, can't get in there. And I'm like, dude, stop trying to get in there. You're going to kill yourself. But I like the fact that he never, he left his side, but he didn't leave his side. You know what I'm saying? He made sure he kept checking back in with him like, yo, man, I'll make sure to protect you. So I like that. I love the father-son relationship that we built, but it's dumb that he left that jetpack. I don't believe he would ever leave that jetpack. He left that jetpack so that Boba Fett could shine in this episode and that they could get away with Grogu at the end. Anyway, let's slide that to the side because that's something that be getting on my nerves. And shouts to Jenna James. What up? Nice to see you. He's like, why do he keep trying to say, fool, look, what you think the power of love is going to get in there? I just stop it. So Melinda May is killing him. Oh, but you ain't seen no Boba Fett though. Boba Fett comes through on some straight Beanie Siegel, bully foot style. Like, homie don't even really have technique to his joint. He's just overpowering these guys. It's just literal, like, just smashing heads. Homie just got essentially like a bow staff / bat, and homie is just going at people's dome pieces left and right. And it was crazy because it's like, yo, because all right, we know Boba Fett. All right, so if you watch the animated series, not everybody does, so I can't say everyone has. But from seeing Boba from the Ute, seeing from a Ute since he was a young boy, you know what I'm saying? We already knew he had the skills because Django gave him the skills. He trained him and stuff. He wanted to raise him as his own son. Cool. So, all right, he got the skills. He's basically Django Fett because he's a clone. So, anyway, gave him the skills. Then, even as a kid, homie got with other bounty hunters, during the Clone Wars series. He was nice there. He was able to run with adults. You know what I'm saying? Chilling with Aura Singh and stuff. So, anyway, boom. Now he an adult. We saw he was nice. We saw that he was mad nice, of course. In the original trilogy. So much so that in the comics you see, Boba don't take no crap. And even if you only watch the movies, he don't play, because when Darth Vader is talking to the group of bounty hunters, he points at Boba Fett and says, "No disintegrations," meaning like, look, I know how you do. No disintegrations. And with that said, that's exactly what this episode was missing, was at least one disintegration to show how he get down. But with that said, Melinda May on the gun, Boba Fett beating people left and right. This episode is crazy, chock full of action. And that's why I said this episode became extremely entertaining, because on the flip, we see, of course, Big Brother Almighty up in the ship. And old boy like, look, we want that baby. Give us that baby. Send down the Dark Troopers. This is where I get a little underwhelmed. I wanted more from the Dark Troopers. I did. I thought the Dark Troopers were going to be a little sweeter than just kind of robot-y type dudes. But with that said, Jenna James says, this episode of Mandalorian was done well. There was a lot packed into 30 minutes. Kudos to Robert Rodriguez. I can totally see him doing a future MCU film /show. NERDSoul, I don't know, maybe Miles Morales. So I'm down with that. I'm not against that at all. Robert Rodriguez he's up and down for me, but I'm not against it. So that's something that I enjoyed about this, was the direction, except for the part where that jetpack was lost, because now with that jetpack being lost, we lose Grogu. But in losing Grogu, we gain the cool moment of Boba Fett, which is, I would rather a cool moment with Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Fennec, instead of an episode that was essentially meant to prop up Boba Fett and then lose the kid. I would rather them lose the kid in a way that was more collective, where they were all kind of fighting to the last man and just were overpowered, and then it was taken, instead of kind of like, hey guys, check out this episode where Boba Fett's super dope and he just outshines everybody and we lose the kid. And Mandalorian is, I guess, stupid because Boba Fett showed up. So I won't dog out this episode more, because I realize when I dog out the episode, people take it out of context, like I hate the show. I don't hate the show, but I do realize when writers, not only in this show, they do it, writers do it in every show. They do it in Titans, they do it in Supernatural, they do it in Arrow, they do it in Flash. They do it in every show there is, where they conveniently make somebody stupid so that the story can happen. You know what I'm saying? So don't sleep. It ain't new. The only one they're not really doing that one in is Star Trek Discovery. But don't get me started with this Star Trek versus Star Wars stuff. So anyway, Garance comes through, says, lost the jetpack but gained a spear, might symbolize a new side of himself that he needs to learn. I don't even know if he lost it. Did he just not go get it? Because the jetpack, he put it down beside the rock. Why didn't he just go back to the rock and get it? Now, let's go back to what he has left. They blew up the Razor Crest. I was like, oh snap. They blew up the Razor Crest. Yo, I like that ship, and now it's gone. But also it's a way for, the people that run this show that were waiting, that really wanted this to be a Boba Fett show, honestly, are able to kind of make sure that Boba Fett stays around at least probably to the rest of this season. Because now he's going to rely on him, because he's going to need a ship. But I do like the fact that they said, he was like, yo, man, look, thanks for giving me the spear. I'll peace out, y'all be good. And they were like, nah, man, look, this ain't over. Like, this ain't over. We got your back. We said we want to protect the kid, and we screwed up and we didn't protect the kid. So we got your back. So I like the fact that they stayed around and they were like, yo, look, we going to stick to our word. We said, straight up, we said, yo, look, we going to protect the kid. That's not only your fault, but also our fault now, because we are the ones that took your eyes off of this kid. in the first place, which is true. They did. If y'all weren't there, he would have been right side by side with the kid the whole time. Now, one could make the argument that if they weren't there, he would have really be outnumbered. But then you could also say if they weren't there, he had the jetpack and probably have better options to be able to take those guys out. But slide that to the side, because back to Boba Fett, I will give it to him. The writing in that without the armor, and then with the armor, he was crazy OP. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely going to have to dial him back. Unless they just bring up like 200 soldiers every single time. But homie blew up a ship, knocked it into the other ship, and both of them died. So that was dope. It showed that, there were going to be losses. But he also did say that he was aiming at the other ship. So he's a little rusty. And it's good to see that even he had a certain fear when I guess you could say a certain fear when he saw that the Empire was still around, because he came back to Fennec and Fennec was like, nah, it can't be the Empire, right? And then even when Mandalorian goes back to Cara Dune, she like, word? But I thought the Empire was gone. I was like, nah, bro, the Empire ain't gone. They holding on. It's their power is waning, but they ain't gone. And I like this transition period where they're not gone. I like this. I really want to see where it goes. Like I said in season 1, I do want to see where this goes and how they're going to maybe collaborate or collide with the New Republic that is going to have to deal with a continuing Imperial presence. Because there's no way that you can have the Imperial presence in the Outer Rim and the New Republic patrolling the Outer Rim without some skirmishes. Like you can't have it both ways. Y'all wrote the story this way, so there's going to have to be some times where we just kind of end up in a battle between the New Republic and the Old Empire, because the Outer Rim, even though it's a big place, it's a small place. But shout out to Keith and Jones, said Boba Fett had a mythology and aura around him previous to the show, so I understand they had to make him a bad butt. I mean, at least for us original SW fans. Yeah, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But it's almost like they underserved a character to make sure that they served that character. And that's just a balance issue in the story. And Nohun said, yeah, keep May around for anything but her in an MCU classic, but a main character. Yo, man, look, I'm down for Melinda May. I've been a fan of hers for a long time. She's dope. She's got the physicality. She can fight. She can act. I'm like, yo, let's do this. So I'm always down with her. And then Jenna James says, I hope Feige really considers bringing in May into the MCU. Otherwise, I can see DC snatching her up for a role like Lady Shiva or Cheshire. Man, Cheshire might not be a bad look for May, yo. Cheshire might not be a bad look for Melinda May. AKA Ming-Na Wen, AKA Chun-Li. But yeah, that might not be a bad look. But back to this episode, Jenna James talks about the stormtrooper's helmet smashed. Yo, bruh, these man, yo, those helmets getting smashed in season 1, 3 and chapter 8. Man, look, them heads was getting cracked. And I was like, yo, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here to see. So anyway, Dark Troopers come, kidnap the baby, bow. They gone, right? But we ain't done, baby. We ain't done. Nah, son. Nah, we ain't done with that. The cool thing here is Keith and Jones says, what are your thoughts on where Mando's re-up for the back missiles? Man, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll let that slide. Maybe I'll let that slide. But we get to see some more Imperial inner workings. It seems like Moff Gideon is leading the charge for this remnant of the Empire. And I believe that we're going to see I believe that in this show, what we're going to see is a light lifting of Heir to the Empire. Like a light lifting, like, Moff Gideon and Grand Admiral Thrawn and stuff. I think we're going to get like a light lifting of that and kind of mix it together, because we know Thrawn is back in some type of way, and we got Moff Gideon. I think we're gonna mix that up somehow and kind of like modernize it, because Heir to the Empire was a cool story, man. It was a good set of books. So why not take some good pieces here and there and put it together. And Jenna James said, "Force choke isn't dark side; it's the intent behind it." This is proven when Luke force chokes the Gamorrean guards. Yep, you know what I'm saying? Look, hey, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta choke it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta choke somebody. So speaking of force choking, in self-defense, you gotta choke somebody, and they came up in the spot, and you got little baby Grogu. Baby young Grogu, about what would be probably, I guess, equal to like 2-year-old infant, like baby Grogu. Grogu was like, yo, homie was throwing people all over the room. All right, how you got 2 grown people just getting waxed by Grogu? Now at the same time, Grogu, it do make Grogu want to take a nap though. Grogu beat him up and was like, but at the same time, it was cool to see like, Grogu was trained. Grogu got what, because we saw him stop that wildebeest or whatever that was coming after Mando that time. So we like, all right, cool, homie got skills, and we've seen him use pieces of force every now and then around the way. But today we saw him wreck shop with some, troopers just be getting beat up, yo. I hope they get hazard pay. Now I'm just saying, man, because it's not an easy life being a stormtrooper. Shout out to Jenna James, said Boba didn't know Cobb had the armor. He was following Din around and saw it on his speeder bike. All right, cool. All right, I'll retract that previous statement. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he on his planet, but I will retract my previous statement on that. Shout to Jenna James, says, what is it? Goes down just as the Mandalorian left. I loved it. This episode was for me. We even got the trademark Rob Rod explosion behind the hero bad butt shot. Yeah, because it was like kadoosh. He was like, so it's cool, man. Here's Jenna James said, if they can repair the Razor Crest over one episode, nah, man, that joint is toast. Look, if I was State Farm, I'd be like, nah, it's total. It's done. Nah, you're done. We're just gonna give you a check and you can go find yourself a new car. then Razor Crest ain't coming back. You got a piece of the steering wheel left. It's over. You see what happened? Pack up an ambulance for the Razor Crest, yo, because it's over. That's all I can say. It's over. It's done. It's dead. That thing is total. Geico, State Farm, I don't know, whoever else, Farmers Insurance, nobody can bring that back. That's done. They ain't going to be fixing that. Jenna James says it's totally possible that Boba Fett would have earned enough money to get the Slave One fixed during his 10-episode absence. Yeah, but there's nothing left of that. The Razor Crest is dead. All right. Look, matter of fact, you know what? Razor Crest old. It's been through some stuff. Time for an upgrade, yo. Time for an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Mandalorian been riding around in an 88 Corolla. It's time to take him back to the lot, baby. Find you something brand new. Why you gotta be in the old joint forever? You know what I'm saying? Like, look. You had an old joint, got busted up a few times, and now it's completely bombed up and depleted. All right? Go and get something brand new. Get something off the lot. Get something shiny and fresh. Shouts to Keith and Jones, says, what if Boba got word that Mace Windu is alive? Man, we ain't trying to hear that. Here's the only thing. I like bringing in old characters. The only thing is, I wanted a show that would be new. I wanted a show that would be new. I don't want to tie it to anything else because then continuity gets weird. I wanted a show to be new. The galaxy is large. Look at how big our galaxy is, and only with the major planets counted out in it. All these extra stars and moons, just our galaxy alone, and then the galaxy beside us. Like, there's mad people in this galaxy. You don't have to, don't get me wrong. I know Mace Windu is dope. And I would love to see if he was alive, but I would really love a show to be new. Like, let a show be new. We don't have to keep tying ourselves down. Like, I hope we don't see Luke in this show. Ahsoka, I wasn't really keen on seeing Ahsoka in this show. The episode was fine. The decision she made, I didn't like, but we got her. But the less old people we see, the better, in my opinion. If you want to do like your fan servicey, everybody old gets together show, make another show, or make this that show and just make me a new show so I can see a show with other people. Because, it's kind of like the issue that I have with a lot of Marvel comics where, like, back in the day, everybody was in New York City. I was like, well, does any crime happen in Texas? Does crime happen in, I don't know, Kentucky, Florida, Montana, Arizona, California? Is there any other crime, or is everything happening in New York? Like, come on, man. That's my thoughts on that. So it's not that I'm against Mace Windu. It's just that I don't want all of these ties to the original trilogy to start mixing around and mixing into this weird continuity space where they're going to have to step on a novel or step on a comic book or step on an old animated series to try to fix and maneuver your way when you can just have brand new people and you ain't got to worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can just have your story. Shouts to what was it? Was Bill Burr in that joint for a second? They showed this picture. So shouts to him. Keevan Jones says, so you're not looking forward to Obi-Wan? No, I do not want to see Obi-Wan in this. Would I like to see an Obi-Wan story? Sure, but not in the Mandalorian. I would love to see Obi-Wan movie. I said this back when I was on Jedi Alliance. I would love to see one movie, not no trilogy, one movie of Obi-Wan being on the run from all of the clone troopers and kind of like fighting his way from hideout to hideout until he finally gets to Tatooine. But the way continuity has now worked it would be weird to do a story like that. I'm not saying you can't have Jedi in it, but I mean, think about it. There wasn't a lot of Jedi. I think there were 0 Jedi in this first season, and it was still Star Wars. You had the Empire there. So you can have the Jedi there, but can we have different Jedi? At this time, like Hannibal and I were talking last week, at this time, there's about 6 Jedi left in the world. You got the dude from Fallen Order, that Cal or whatever. You got him. You got a couple people from the comics. You don't have to have Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's Dave Filoni in his kind of like wet dream of his creation being in everything. And it actually messes it up for some people like myself, where I'm like, yo, you're rubbing up against continuity in a weird way, where it's like, you're going to rub up against continuity and then not explain yourself for it. So now it looks like, okay, well, she was just aloof during this whole battle with the rebellion that she helped start. So I don't know. I'd rather have an Obi-Wan story, like a movie, like a straight to Disney Plus movie, super dope. Obi-Wan by himself, cool. All right, or even Obi-Wan and got some Ahsoka in there, something cool. But I also want something that's new. Like, show me something, because there's more than like 20 people in the galaxy. Jenny James says, in Star Wars related news, Star Wars and Moon Knight star Oscar Isaac to play Solid Snake. There ain't no Star Wars news. Get out of here. Come on, Jenna. You want to send me some Solid Snake on Star Wars? Solid Snake. Ha! Get out of here. I did want to say also, when it surrounds Ahsoka, I know there's been a lot of news swirling about Ahsoka and an Ahsoka TV show. Until that joint is actually announced from someone from Disney or for someone from Lucasfilm, I ain't getting my hopes up. There's too much rumor. There's too much rumor reporting right now. I can't roll with people on that one. I'll wait until like Bob Iger says it, or like Kathleen Kennedy says it, or Jon Favreau says it, or Dave Filoni, Pablo Hidalgo, someone there says it. But now people are just like, yo, our resident scoop man done found out. Nah, bruh, I don't want your resident scoop man. I want Kathleen Kennedy or like Bob Iger to come out, or Kevin Feige, somebody who worked there to come out and say it and put their name on it. Put Disney's name on it and tell me you said it. Jenna James said, did you ever hear of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Oh man. So with that said, guys, we're at time. We've had a lot of fun. This episode was entertaining. I didn't like the way that we, kind of that we kind of imbalanced everybody just to have Boba have his moment. But I understand that they knew fan service is a thing, and they did what they had to do for fan service. Oh man. Oh man. Keith says, I'm still waiting on an explanation of the Knights of Ren. I remember there was a comic book. I don't know if they explained it well in that or not, because I didn't follow it. The only books that I followed in comic book form were, they did a run on Lando. I read that. And they did a run on... Did I follow Dr. Aphra? I think I followed Dr. Aphra's run, but there's way too many comics. There's like 4 or 5 books running, if not more. I know Vader has another book out. I know they're running their main Star Wars line. There was like a Leia book. There was a Luke book. There's a lot. So if you love Star Wars, there's something out there for you. Garen said Boba was rocking the gut in that armor with full confidence. Yo, look. Hey, yeah, ain't no wrong with full-size brothers out there. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Gotta come with the gut. Ain't no wrong with the gut. Show a little gut for the people. Hey, look, keep on playing. Don't let that gut fool you. Get your ass whooped up out here. Talk about a gut. Look, he did a good job with that gut. Shouts out to full-figured plus-size brothers out here holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Look, don't sleep on the gut. You gotta let it out. Let it fly. So with that said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Keith and Jones, Jenna James, Cassandra Sellers, first name after one, DLS in the house. Let's see who else we got. No Hoon in the house. Andre Atkins, sorry I missed you earlier. What up? Let's see who else. Garrence George, Jamal Lee. Yo, Jamal Lee, what up, man? So, and Captain RDG or RGD, excuse me. So, big shout out to all y'all, man. Thank y'all for rolling through. Andre Atkins says, if they bring in Dr. Aphra into the shows, it should be Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You sure? I thought Dr. Aphra was a little darker than her. Maybe I was slipping. I thought she was a little darker, but man, maybe I'm slipping. I'm not against Chloe at all, but I just thought Dr. Aphra was a little darker. Sabine, I'd be down with her for Sabine. You know what I'm saying? I'd be down with, you know what I'm saying? But at least as I remember, I thought, but see, also different artists and different colorists on different issues. Who knows? Dr. Aphra has probably been light skin and dark skin. Who knows? But with that said, guys, thank you for rolling through. Yo, man, it's good to see y'all. It's good to come and have a fun time and geek out on Star Wars. And we'll see what happens next week, man, because I really would like to see a Storm the Castle type of episode where it's like, look, you took something I want, and I want it back. You know what I'm saying? And it look like they're going to have to go get Bill Burr to do it. So, with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. If you hit that thumbs down, I'm going to send Moff Gideon after you, and you ain't going to like it because you're going to send a whole bunch of robots over there, and they're going to steal your baby. It's not good. So, podcast if you rather listen, Spotify for that music, and I'm going to leave y'all with, of course, ARCKATRON.com. That's right, Arcatron is that dude. The Space Bridge is in stores now. Do not sleep. Find that brother on Instagram. Find him on YouTube. Follow him. Check out some folks. And until next time, You ready to go?
Bye.
Say peace. Give him a woo. Show him a woo for
And a
you.
woo for you.
A woo for you. Say a woo for you.
And a woo for you.
Show him. Show him the woo. Show him the power of the woo. All right, we out, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.